I admit it, I've made the worst mistake in my trading career. Over the past 10 years, I've never made a stupider, more foolish mistake than this. The crypto market crashed and some assets and altcoins up to 50% yesterday, and we're still down 30% from where the recent highs were. In 15 minutes yesterday, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And my only mistake is that I didn't buy more and I didn't have cash on the sidelines. You know why? Because I'm happy that the dip happened yesterday, because all the idiots that were in crazy leverage positions got wiped out by all the debauchery we saw on the exchanges yesterday. But meanwhile, I was right here, sitting with my spot holdings, waiting in cash. Even when people called me a clown for selling Solana at 240 5 weeks ago, I knew / strongly suspected something like this was going to happen, and I had plenty of cash on the sidelines. I had over $1 million cash on the sidelines of all profits that I've made this year. It's a portion of the profits. This year I've made over $2.5 million. And if things happen in the way that I think they're going to happen in the crypto market throughout the rest of this year and early into next year in 2026, then I will make another million, maybe 2 million, perhaps even $3 million. I have never seen anything like this in the entire time I've traded crypto that has happened in this exact way. So am I bullish as hell on crypto? Yes, I am. Have I sold anything? No. As a matter of fact, I bought more. My only mistake is that I didn't just have more cash on the sidelines to buy even more than I was able to yesterday. So I was at the Land Rover dealership test driving a Range Rover Sport SV Edition 2 or some shit like that when I got a million alerts on my phone from TradingView. A million alerts showing that price had crashed to areas that I honestly did not think we would see. I didn't think we'd be this blessed enough by the trading gods to get prices this low. This is Link USD. This is Algorand. Some of these crashes within just a couple hours were like 30% or even more. Sui crashed yesterday from up there all the way down to the low 40%. It's absolutely insane. Cardano crashed 25% yesterday, and Uniswap just bit the bullet finally. Couldn't break out. Crashed 41% yesterday. And then we're sitting here at our holy grail, Bitcoin. And even Bitcoin itself at the peak crashed 12%. Just over the course of a couple hours. For those of you who are new into the markets, particularly crypto, I don't think you realize how insane this is. We see pretty crazy crashes in crypto, but I personally, in my past decade of trading, have never seen something like what happened yesterday. All the sentiment, all the people that were holding patiently, all the people that were just waiting it out for the next bull run to finalize for this cycle, they did not expect yesterday to see all this coming, at least most of us, right? I certainly didn't, but I'm happy it did happen. Let's go to my Coinbase portfolio. Just like I put here in the thumbnail of this video, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this just so you can see. I'm currently down over the past 24 hours over $200,000. At the worst peak of it, I was down, probably like close to $300,000, and now things have gone up yesterday. So this is the daily, this is the weekly. I've lost $231,000 at this point during the week. It was down even more. So probably close to $280,000. And when we look at my portfolio here, you could see every single thing is now in the red on these cryptos. And what it did for me is it allowed me to be able to buy a ton more cryptos that I didn't think I'd get into. So of my portfolio right now, you can see the cash position I have is only 50K. So I'm pretty much almost 100% invested. I have a lot of capital spread out on exchanges in crypto, and then some in my 2 ledgers, and then this here in Coinbase is just my gambling money. I decided to take all the profits I've made over the past few months in crypto, put it in here into Coinbase just to actively trade spot on it. So I still have plenty of Bitcoin, a little bit of Solana and the other stuff, but here in Coinbase, this is where all my trading positions are, and you can see all of them are down. I want to talk about why this crash yesterday is so beautiful and why I see so many people freaking out and selling right now, which is probably the worst thing you could do, right? You should be thanking the trading gods that something like this even happened to begin with, because if you had cash sitting on the sidelines like I've been yelling for the past 2 months, more recently, maybe like a month and a half, you could have taken advantage of the stupid prices we saw yesterday. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I'm going to give you a little update here. So Solana, I've increased my position on Solana from like 150 to 200,000 up to like almost $500,000. Uniswap, I bought more yesterday. I think I bought like 100 grand yesterday. AVAX, I bought over 100 grand yesterday, like 130, 120 grand. Chainlink, Cardano, Algorand, Sui, and of course I don't have a Bitcoin position here in my spot holdings. But what we saw yesterday is something that is really unprecedented, and what I think is it's actually a really, really big bullish sign, because something like this will usually happen before we see prices go vertical. Okay, now I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll probably lose half of this portfolio here and a little bit from my Bitcoin holdings and my other wallets and exchanges and stuff. But for this right here, if I'm wrong, I'll lose half of it, right? I might lose another, say 700, 800,000, and then we'll be in a bear market and I'll just have to tuck my tail between my legs and having not come out in as much profit had I just, like sold earlier. But if I'm right, I quite literally will make another 1.5 to $2 million the rest of this cycle. And so here, whenever we're looking at the charts, we're seeing prices crash this much. Imagine how much fear is in people right now who are particularly trading on exchanges, whether it's centralized or decentralized exchanges, that got liquidated on all these huge spikes. You had probably so many people on positions like Solana yesterday, which was really looking good. I to be honest, I thought it would just be continuing up from where we were at the beginning of last week. That didn't happen. And so the fact that this did happen gives some of the best buying opportunities I've ever seen in crypto. I got alerts that just went off that I thought something was wrong with my trading view charts, and I thought something was wrong with the alerts because I was like, there's no way that this could have happened because some of these alerts were like 15, 20, 30% below price, and yet we still saw it yesterday. I was trying to buy yesterday while I was test driving a car, like on my Coinbase app on my phone. I had to stop with my sales guy to be able just to like place these orders on Coinbase from my phone because they just weren't even getting filled because of how thin the liquidity was. This price was just collapsing. And I just had to do market execution. I couldn't even get limit orders in because everything was so volatile. And whenever we see this happen, normally what we'll see is as long as there's still a bullish sentiment, nothing's changed. Institutions are still buying Bitcoin. Institutions are still buying some of the altcoins like, primarily Ethereum, Solana, all the stuff in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap. But when this happened, I looked at it as the opportunity of a lifetime. So for example, if Solana goes from an average price, which is around 199, 200, and it goes up here to where I think it's going to finish up, which is around 260, that's a 30% gain. Okay, so a 30% gain on $500,000 of Solana, you do the math. That's amazing. Avalanche, you can see my average price here on Avalanche is 26.34, and I've got a little over $200,000 of it. So 26.34 is right here. And if price goes from that average price just back to the recent highs, that's 35%. So 35% on over 200 grand, right? That's a $70,000 profit. And that's if it just gets to the high, let alone if it goes back here to the highs we saw at the beginning of this year, from like the end of last year at the beginning of this year, right? So this is all a year of price data. If we get to all-time highs from where my position average is, that's 146% gain, which is, it would be insane. I likely won't hold that long, but I'm just saying it presents a lot of upside opportunity. If Chainlink just gets to the highs from where it's at right now, it's a 50% gain. One thing that's even crazier is Uniswap, which I had alerts here at the support level that just went off yesterday, right? I was very, very surprised this happened because I thought we were going to hold as support right here, but I had some fresh bullets in the chamber to be able to pull the trigger if things went lower. We didn't go back up to the high, and that would have been a 50% gain. Now look at where current market prices are right now. If we get to the high, this is almost a 100% gain. And as I've talked about in my previous videos, I've got a pretty big position on Uniswap just because the upside potential is good. 281,000, right? So let's just say it's 250K. If it gets from where it's at right now and just goes back to the recent high that we were at literally less than 2 months ago, that's a 100% gain. I'll make over $250,000 on that, as well a lot of these others, let alone Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up to like 130 by the end of this cycle, it's a 15, 16% gain on a couple $1 million. This is absolutely insane. So if you're selling crypto right now, I do not understand you. You either are new to this market and you have never seen this happen before to this degree, or you're just scared and you just want to sell your holdings or you didn't have cash on the sidelines to buy more. I always believe in taking profits as things start popping up in crypto because of how volatile it is. I've already taken profits and I moved a lot of my cash off of Coinbase whenever I sold here on the exchange. I moved hundreds of thousands of dollars to my bank account just to protect the capital because all of this has just been profits that we've made from the beginning of this bull run. Since I was calling this, it's been almost a year ago since Trump got elected at the end of last year when prices started popping up. I made like 300 grand in a night just on that. And then as things continued up, it's just been millions over the past 12 rolling months. So here's what I'm doing. Okay, so for Solana, I've added positions. I've added pretty aggressively, and I might be adding the last of my positions this morning here around these prices. You have to understand, unless you think Solana is likely to go to zero, right? If you think it's going to break the lows, crash 50%, the bull market's over for Bitcoin and alts, then okay, you probably lose half your money. And if it goes all the way down to here, which I don't see happening, at least at this moment in time, right? If we clear these next sets of lows here on the higher time frames, maybe we might see prices just dwindle and I lose, whatever this would be, 80, 90% of my holdings there. The thing is, I just don't think that happens. I accept it if that does happen. But based on everything I've seen, I made a pretty huge bet here. So I bought Solana. I bought Avalanche yesterday as things were dropping down here into this zone. Now Avalanche is up like 23% from where it's at. It's up almost 10% on the day-to-day. Chainlink I bought during these dips yesterday. I didn't buy any more Algorand. I didn't buy any more Sui, and I didn't buy any more Cardano. But I bought a lot of Uniswap as well, just because Uniswap has the best like risk-reward potential. If it just bounces from where it was at yesterday here when we hit the support zone, that's over a 60% gain to the upside. I cannot stress how bullish this is. Whenever we see cycle tops and things are about to like turn around and go into a bear market, generally you see everybody super overexcited and thinking that price is going to continue going up, and Bitcoin's going to go to 200K or some dumb shit like that I see so many people saying. I think Bitcoin will go to at least 130, maybe 135, maybe 140, in some insane case perhaps 150 this cycle, though I think it's very unlikely. But if you think that there's still some more upside in cryptos, particularly Bitcoin in the top 10, 15, 20 alts on CoinMarketCap, then you should be so excited that this is happening right now, just because the percentage gains back to the upside are insane. When Uniswap crashed all the way from these highs to where it was at yesterday, that was a 60% dip. And then if it gets back to the highs, it's not a 60% gain, it's a 140% gain. In crypto, as long as you're not using leverage, right? That's why I just don't trade with leverage in crypto. I just buy spot. No matter hold the actual tokens. There's no funding fees, changeover fees. There's no nothing for holding it, right? You just buy it on swap. I have the tiny bit of commission that I pay here at Coinbase because my VIP 2 level here, I get like 1/20% if I just buy on limit orders, and I get 0.1% fees if I set a market execution order. So with those low fees, even though I'm looking at this portfolio, I'm seeing the red, I'm seeing $250,000 down in a day, I still think prices are really likely to go up. Whenever everybody is all greedy and they're all super happy and they're just so triumphant that Bitcoin is going up at all-time highs, you will look like a fool for selling early. And a lot of people said that I was an idiot for selling my Solana and a chunk of my Bitcoin a month and a half ago whenever I saw that things were up really high and I suspected there would be some sort of a crazy drop like this. Whenever you see people now actually like weary and dreadful and just can't stand the fact there's all this blood in the streets and they're leaving crypto, it is one of the most bullish signs that you could possibly have in crypto when you see people just thinking that everything's over. Normally, you'll see crypto end and make a market top and start falling a lot as people are really optimistic. But when people are not optimistic and people are just so upset and so like they think crypto is a scam, they're trying to get out. Let me just be very clear here. That, in my opinion, is the best time to buy. You have to buy when there's blood in the streets. Warren Buffett said be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. I think that applies here in the crypto market. So what I'll be doing is I'll be holding all these positions. Like I said, I'll probably add my last position to Solana here with the remaining cash in my portfolio. It's just 50K left over. So that's what I'll be doing. And then if these pop up, it will be absolutely insane. If you are in crypto right now, while I cannot guarantee you anything, and while I can't make predictions, because obviously I couldn't even have predicted this would happen, and while I can't guarantee you anything, I do think that anybody getting into crypto right now is getting in at just dog shit level prices, right? You're getting in at such good prices that if we have anything that sort of resembles even the tiniest bull run going forward out of here for the rest of the month of October, which has historically been green about 90% of the time, 85-90% of the time over the past decade and a half, then you are setting yourself up for making so many profits, right? And the cool part about this is you don't even have to trade. It's not like Forex. It's not like day trading stocks or futures. You just buy and then you just hold the tokens, right? And even if you only got like 10K to invest, right? If you put 10K in and spread it out across a couple different of the top altcoins, if we just have the slightest bit of a bull run, you could probably make 50% on your portfolio. And again, I can't guarantee you anything, but this is just my opinion, seeing everything I've seen for the past nearly a decade of trading. I've been watching crypto since I got into Forex trading back at the beginning of 2016, March, April, May 2016. I've watched all these cycles. I've watched Bitcoin have these huge spikes up. I've watched the alts follow right after. Then I've watched everything crash and dwindle 80 to 90% during bear markets. This is the time to buy if you are a person that has some cash on the sidelines where you can allocate to some of this. So if price continues to go up from here, it will be a nice, healthy profit. And I wanted to make this video because I see a lot of people really scared right now. I see a lot of people really losing their minds. And I see a lot of people thinking that they've made mistakes by either holding or thinking that price is going to continue down even further. Again, it can happen. I just don't think it is. So I wanted to leave that with you here today. I wanted to at least make a video talking about this because I see a lot of people who are inexperienced or new to trading, um, or they're just dumbasses that are convinced that things are going to be a bear market from here. Now, keep in mind, you could be right if you think prices are going to go lower from here in the crypto markets. You could be right, and I could be wrong, and that's okay. But what I am saying is that if we are right, prices are going to go so much higher than they are right now. And I, and you, if you're the one that's getting in right now or holding your positions, we will be the ones that profit from one of the greatest, biggest, most obvious manipulative crashes that have ever occurred in crypto. I'm holding my crypto and I've bought more and I'm going to buy more right when I get off this video. If you're holding crypto right now, you're doing things right. Don't get afraid. Don't start to panic. Don't get fearful. Don't try to be too greedy when price goes back up and try to hold it for really long. When we get these pops, I should say when we get these pops to the upside, you will be thanking yourself and patting yourself on the back for not freaking out and for not panicking and for continuing to hold and then adding more at good prices. The whole idea of trading, particularly assets that go up long-term like certain crypto tokens, is to buy low and sell high. We are at a low right now. I've never seen prices this good this cycle that have happened this quickly. It's absolutely insane. So my take, I'm holding my crypto. If you're doing the same thing, I think you're setting yourself up to make a really healthy profit going into these next few weeks / next few months. Cheers, my friends.